check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Today we have the Google Pixel 6 Pro rear housing replacement. This will fix cracked glass or a damaged frame. Also, if your NFC is not working, this will fix that. As you can see, we have the official Google 6 Pro replacement spare part. This is a complete housing. It comes with things like the NFC reader, the flash, the volume buttons, and other small parts. It also comes with the back glass and camera glass. You're going to start by turning off your Google Pixel 6 Pro and heating the display to remove it, like a book. If you don't have a heat gun at home, you can use a hairdryer or a heat mat. Try not to overheat your screen. It should be hot to touch. Gently insert a thin pry tool. You can use a guitar pick or a thin plastic card. The idea here is just to create a gap so you can get your next pry tool in. Once you have a gap between the display and the frame, you can gently run your plastic pry tool around the edge of the screen. Be sure not to go too deep, as you may damage some internal components. If you're in Australia, open your screen like a book and unscrew the display connector cover. Once this is removed, you can pop your display off. Now let's start this repair. There's a whole bunch of screws to remove that hold the logic board in place. We have a logic board cover, and you'll need to remove those screws. Once those screws are out, there's screws holding in the logic board. Now remember, all of these screws are different sizes. So what I learned from this repair is that it's really important to organize your screws. Ideally, if you have a magnetic mat where you can lay them out in the right position, or put them in a place where they won't be bumped, and lay them out the same way they came out of the device. Once you have the plate out, you can now disconnect the battery. And more screws. When you lift your signal antenna flex, you'll find 3 screws hidden underneath. Go ahead and remove these screws. Remove your rear camera module. Gently pull up on each of the 3 connectors that connect the camera in place. Ideally, you want to be grabbing just on the corner and popping them up. Pop out the ear speaker module. You can pry underneath this and pop it up. A few more screws holding the main board in place. You'll notice that these screws are shorter than the other screws, so make sure you keep them well organized. Now we need to remove the battery in order to get the board out. Google has a clever battery pull tab design. Apply some heat to the bottom of the device and move those tabs up and down, and eventually your battery will become loose. Gently lift your logic board out, starting from the top, pulling upwards. Now you can put your housings side by side, and they should both be empty. Just double check that you're not leaving any parts in the old housing. You don't want to get the repair all the way finished and then realize that you haven't put the ear speaker in, or something along those lines. So working in reverse order, we're going to start by placing the loudspeaker into the new housing. In goes the logic board. Start by putting the charge port in its place and slide it down and in. Again, try to keep the board flat. Definitely don't want to bend the board. Before the board goes all the way down, you want to make sure you don't squash the volume button flex, the flash flex, and the power button flex. I remember how to put all the screws back. Wow. Once you're confident the board is sitting flat, you can insert your SIM card tray. Time to get those board screws in. Remember, these are the short screws. Now you can install your battery. You may need to reapply double-sided tape to the top and bottom of the battery if the old adhesive has come away. Just before you put the battery in, make sure you put the pull tabs in place. This will make it easier for the next person that repairs the device. Underneath the battery is the NFC reader and the wireless charger. So just be careful that you don't damage this with a tool, as it is quite fragile. Now it's time to install the rear camera module. You want to make sure there's no dust on the camera or inside the housing on the back of the camera lens glass. Pop your camera in place and reconnect the 3 connectors. Install the upside down T-bracket. Through the top of this bracket, you'll need to put 3 screws. As I was doing this repair, I got the screws in the wrong place, so remember to keep your screws well organized. Now it's time to pop your rear speaker in place. And lastly, we'll connect the battery. Now that you've connected everything, install your logic board cover. Install the screws that hold your logic board cover in place. These screws are longer than the other screws. Before we install the screen, we want to make sure everything's sitting flat. In this repair, we're using the official Google Pixel 6 Pro Rework Adhesive Kit. This is by far the best adhesive to reseal your device. Start by sticking your adhesive kit in the bottom of the display. If it's in the right place in the bottom corners, then it should be in the right place in the top corners. Gently apply some pressure to the adhesive kit. Once you're confident the adhesive kit is in place, you can peel away the blue film. This will leave you with a last layer, which can be pulled off once the screen is connected. Gently reconnect your display. Now you can go ahead and install your screen connector bracket and screw in the T4 Torx screw. Now it's time to turn the device on and do any testing and checks. Feel free to reach out to the team at fixo.com.au. And remember, it's always fixable. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. Thanks for watching.